HouzmazooNetwork, stay cool.
We live on HouzmazooNetwork. Who I had the pleasure of speaking to right here?
Cool. Neil, people know me as Kenneil. Neil, stay cool.
Okay, Neil, tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit of your upbringing.
I'm right here, straight out of Southeast, man. Ward 8, Washington, D.C. I'm the youngest of 5. Definitely come from Woodland Terrace. Just graduated from Delaware State University with a bachelor's in political science, and in a real way, just a young black man just trying to stay cool, and I'm gonna get into what cool means a little bit later.
Got you. You said you grew up in Southeast DC, you coming out of the Woodland neighborhood. What are some like obstacles you faced growing up in Southeast and some of your challenges?
Definitely a lot of grieving. You know, when I say grieving, I mean violence in a real way. You know, it was almost like, you know, the biggest hammer you had. You know, you felt like you had something to prove. You know, most of the time, you know, where I'm from, you know, it was a lot of poverty. You know, people really wasn't eating at night. So, you know, as a young, you know, dude growing up here, you know, I had some very humble beginnings, you know, which led to, you know, incarcerations and group homes and ankle bracelets and just government, and you know, it all has a meaning behind it. But yeah, growing up here, it was really different. But for what it's worth, you know, it didn't go in vain.
Got you. I'm glad you said that. You also said you were a graduate of Delaware State University. Speak about your college experience. I know you from Central State University,
yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah, Barada.
Yeah, Barada. But you know, you graduated a Hornet, definitely. You feel me? So tell me about your college experience.
So my college experience, I am definitely a Hornet for life. DSU will forever be like a centerpiece of me. College was very fun, you know. My first time, you know, even stepping, you know, on a college campus was in Central State University in Ohio, and in a real way, it was one of those things where I'm coming from Southeast, so it's like a whole different atmosphere. I remember even going to my first party. It was almost like a whole different world. You know, you had people dancing in certain ways, and you know, different cultures, and I didn't really understand what was going on for real. So I just basically, you know, I adapted to the situation, and when I adapted, I understood it for what it was worth. You know, college, you learn about different cultures, you know. I learned about Chicago, I learned about Detroit, I learned about Indiana, I learned about different states. When, you know, where I had my peers come out, we had different backgrounds, but similar, very similar. And you know, once you get that understanding, you know, being in the Midwest, you know, your first year, I was fortunate to have Dean's List both of the semesters while I was there. You know, I was really taking the initiative. I had never studied before I went to college. DCPS, I ain't even had no book to study with. So, like, in a real way, you know, that college changed my life. You know, it gave me, you know, some of the stuff that I learned at college, I didn't need a book to learn, but you know, it's all about, you know, the methods of how you get information, and you know, the critical thinking, and you know, the analytical stuff. You know, it really, you know, plays an intricate part of, you know, who I am today and how I want to help my community.
Got you. Why education was important to you? That you felt as though you had to defer to your education?
Like I said, I had humble beginnings. You know, like, I'm the youngest of 5, so when I used to go to sleep at night, you know, every night, you know, some nights was different from some nights. Some nights I had good nights, other nights wasn't so good, you know. But regardless, I had something to wake up to. I had school, and I always felt like education was my key. You know, even, you know, just remembering, you know, just early on when I was younger, you know, I had a IEP. I had got kicked out of, you know, DC public schools, and like right before I got to the 3rd grade. So like I was really a problem child. So, you know, I always was, you know, smart. However, like I always wanted to be that student, which still to this day, I always enjoyed just being a student of the game. And I think that carried me a long way. And like, you know, I had teachers and different types of people, you know, that I wanted to, you know, go to school. And, you know, I wanted to learn stuff. So however hard that night was before, I always had a deadline. I always had that paper due. Regardless of what I was going through that day, I always had something I had to do. If I wasn't gonna, you know, I felt like at times, you know, you know, it's valleys and peaks, and you know, people descend. You know, you have moments to descend. You know, but you know, some of these seasons, you know, I kept fighting. You know, and I got out of. You know, I was fortunate enough to graduate from Ballou Senior High School. You know, so like that. Education was always like my biggest thing. That's why I'm still here today.
Got you. Cool. What is it? How did it get established?
Cool. So, Cool, you know, I always had a passion for like fashion, and I always like clothes and whatnot. I always like how it, you know, represent like different cultures. You know, it could be a mood. You know, I just pay attention to like the 60s and, you know, the 70s with the psychedelic, and, you know, you had the different, you know, the 80s with the, you know, moving in late 80s with the hip hop, and you had different, you know, cycles of, you know, fashion, and I pay attention to them all. And it really, you know, you have to walk down the street with clothes on. You know, people used to say to me, you know, you can't come in here with street clothes on. I say, what's the other clothes? Formal? You know, so like they gotta walk in the street. So like in the real way, you know what you wear is a representation of you. One of the biggest things I learned from Murray and Burry is that presentation is everything. And like the way you look, people like they look at you and they say, you know, hey, you know, they make judgments, they make preconceived notions before they even before you can even open up your mouth. And it's more of a human nature thing. And so when that happens, you know, you sort of, you know, figure out ways that you can you know, manipulate it for a good cause. And I feel like with Cool, you know, I had a you know, a young dude named Philip Jones. You know, he was killed. You know, he
Sorry
was
to hear that.
Yeah, he was killed. And you know, like Philip Jones was a special dude. You know, he was a guy, you know, that had a lot of familiarity in the community. And you know, him at that age, you know, he had a lot of influence in different types of communities. And in a real way, he was a guy that, you know, used things like, you know, little sayings or numbers, or, you know, things that correlate with who he was or what the people around him was. And so happened that I had the chance to, you know, be around him, and, you know, during them times, you know, just being in high school. And I remember, you know, just seeing all it was almost like propaganda, like people was just walking up with, you know, different types of, you know, stuff. I'm like, man, they go to the mall every day to get this, you know. You know, so I pay attention to the fashion.
Yeah.
So, you know, it never occurred to me, it never occurred to me how much influence he had until he died.
Gotcha. Speak about, my fault for cutting you off. You said you pay attention to the fashion. Speak about like DC fashion.
Like,
especially right now, because you know everybody, there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the city.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awful lot of stuff going on. Like, you know, it's an awful, like, you know, like, you got E, who is like the centerpiece right now, you know, because, you know, the movement that he started is just, you know, it's just flawless in the sense of, you know, you can go behind it. It's a model. And like, you gotta think about the background of the DC fashion thing. You got, you know, people like Hobo, All Days, or
Madness.
you hear me, Madness, you hear me, what they had, Shooters, you know what I'm saying, they had different, you had We Are One, you hear me, everybody had they reign on things at a certain moment, and in DC, you know, it's in a sense what made us the Chocolate City. We had a culture, we still do have a culture, I ain't gonna say we had, but it was much more plentiful back then, you know, people had establishments, you know, you had the Hobo Shop over there, you know, which was like a landmark at the time, like people like, that Hobo Shop ain't never going nowhere, you get what I'm saying? So, like, you know, you gotta think about like Saab, you know, they been here for a minute, and when people go out the city, you know, Hugo Boss and New Balance, and you see that Saab, you know, that's how you go anywhere in the DMV, or, you know, in the East Coast, people, you know, they pay attention. They know the DC Bams. Yeah. They know the DC Bams. Just you gotta travel a little bit, you know, from DC, but they know who we are. Yeah. When we come. Yeah. It's the fashion. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, speak about your logo. Do it have any meaning behind it, or you know, just something you came up with?
So what I was saying, like, we'll get back to what Phil, like, I feel like that was like, you know, like that was the logo. So I wanted to. When I got to him, I told him, like, you know, I'm gonna make something cool, and it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna start cool. I promised them that I was gonna graduate school, and that I was gonna start cool, and I was gonna tell them because it was something positive, and through that it accumulated to become different things. So cool, the C, and the C in cool stands for, you know, just that individuality. Just having, you know, the human intellectual capability is an amazing thing, and when we just think about it, you know, everything that we look around us, or, you know, all this infrastructure is essentially built by a human. The architecture, how everything is built, it's human, and, you know, it's amazing what humans can do with their mind, no matter race, gender. It doesn't matter who you are. Just from having that intellectual capability, you are a man. You, like, you know, you think, therefore you are a man, in a sense. And it's you know, one of the pillars, I believe, of course, like one of the most important. That C in cool is the most important, because without that, you know, that individuality, you know, that being yourself, you know, that's why I always preach, it's always cool to be smart. You know, it's cool to be smart, you know. And, you know, if you got some of the most successful people that were brainiacs and never been to college, where you heard that before, but guess what? They are smart. You know, these people have intellect. You know, Malcolm X, for example, they said that he was illiterate. You know, he, you know, got incarcerated for some time, and he was self-educated, and he had people like Dr. Martin Luther King who would reference saying, you can reference Martin Luther King saying, hey, I would never, you know, want to debate with that guy, you know. There's no way I would sit in the room and debate with him. So the power of education, in the sense of educating yourself, you know, that intellectual capability is amazing. But, you know, if you just look at the O in cool, you know, you have, you know, this notion of world poverty. And you have to think about community when I'm explaining this to you, because the community is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about cool. So when you see the fork in the plate in the world, you have to think that in Paris or Australia, or even right here in the nation's capital, where you got from World 1 to World 8, is the highest disparity as far as income in the United States. You have the rich live right next to the poor. Wherever there's rich people, there's poor people. It's just, it goes right together, and you know, just raising conscience on that is one of the things that I want to, you know, initiate with that, you know, and that O. And, you know, even in my community, you know, poverty is real. Then you have the other O. Then you have the you know, the triumph. You know, you have the trophy for triumph. You know, actually having that achievement. You know, making out, you know, or doing something, you know, make your mom proud, you know, just having that trophy, just saying, yeah, if I go today, what have I done? and that's that trophy. You know, that fist stands for unity, you know, within the community. Not only unity, but resilience. You know, sometimes, you know, we fall into the cycle of, you know, we take losses or whatnot, but, you know, the thing about resilience and what makes the word significant is that when you get hit down, you gotta basically, you know, come back even stronger from when you failed the first time. Resilience. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then you got peace sign, tranquility, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, having that calm, you know, and the unity, you know, it triggers stuff like the Black Panther Party. You know, you had them giving out free breakfast to the kids, educating them. Then you seen them on the FBI most wanted list because they was trying to kill them. And that's what they do when you start uniting with yourself. If you don't unite with, you know, amongst ourselves, you know, nothing could get accomplished. You know, the only thing that kill war is two things, love and money. So, you know, if we don't got the love amongst ourselves, nothing can happen. Nothing will happen, you know. So that's, you know, what that means. And, you know, the cool right there, you know, with the L, you know, it's the heart, you know what I'm saying? And the love, you know what I'm saying? It's love, man. It's love that will get us across, you know, a lot of barriers in life. And it also triggers our forgiveness, you know. So stay cool. Everything I just explained to you was cool.
Got you. You damn sure right it was. You mentioned community, and I also be seeing you at a lot of community outreach events. So how important is community outreach and engagement is to you?
It's important to me as far as it pertaining to the youth. See, the youth is what motivates me. You know, if they hear me, if I can reach them, if I've been through something, if they can just see my face, if they know of me, you get what I'm saying? If they know like what I've been through, or if they even, you know, haven't known what I've been through, to see where I am today, and it's like, hey, you know, it doesn't matter who or what you've done, you know what I'm saying? If I see a youth, I'm motivated to help them. And people say, you know, you can't, you know, help every youth. They say you can't help every youth. Well, shit. You can die trying, you know what I'm saying? You know, my whole goal is to, you know, never give up on anyone. And what excites me about the community is just being in the community, seeing the youth, seeing the trends, seeing the fashion that they wear. What do they want? What do they, you know, I want to be around them. I am the youth, you know what I'm saying? So I have to be there in a sense. You know, it's inevitable that the youth step up and be a part of the cause. It's we gonna be the person when we get old. Who you think gonna be able to look back and say, you know, inshallah, we get to, you know, that old age. You know what I'm saying? We like looking back like, damn, we should have did it while we was young. No, we gonna start something now. Reform take a long time. You know what I'm saying? We talk about a lot of, you know, things like, you know, the police in the community. We say things like, you know, we don't like them or whatnot. You know, we might not like them. But far as I know, we know they gonna do their job. You know what I'm saying? And the best thing that you can do is stay cool. So like, you know, it's a couple things, you know, that you wanna focus on. You know, like education, employment. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the problems is illiteracy. A lot of, you know, my brother, even when I was incarcerated, a lot of people couldn't read and write, and I ain't really had. Like, I ain't really say nothing to them about it. I just encouraged them to, you know, read some of my books or whatnot. And, you know, it was always like, you know, that was one of my biggest problems is, you know, like, even with my family, you know what I'm saying? I'm the only person that didn't, not only, I don't think my sister had an LD or ERC. I don't know, I'm not sure, but, you know, it was a lot of learning that, like, it comes from, you know, a lot, you know, really.
So I see you're a man of a lot of change. You said you was incarcerated, and I know that you went to college, graduated. You also graduated high school. So when did you have your wake up call and was like, you know what, let me stop playing and, you know, turn my life around?
I had a lot of wake up calls, man. You know, You know, this change, people look at, you know, graduation or whatnot, you know, as changes, you know, the milestones, of course, you know, them are milestones, but I feel like my change came when I was younger. You know, I've been through some situations, you know, that I can't even talk about, you know, that, you know, I escaped, you know what I'm saying, and inshallah, I still be, you know, I don't look over my shoulder when I walk around, you know, it's a great feeling, but, you know, that's definitely, you know.
When you felt as though you know, started to, you know.
Yeah, like it was one of them things where you've been out there. I lost a lot of family members, and you know, I lost a lot of people or peers, and you start seeing people dying, and it's not something you want to be a part of. In a sense, you want to make it better. I hear people all the time say, Kenneil, why you go back to your neighborhood? Who would I be to learn all these gifts that I have learned and not come back to my neighborhood, you know? So like,
I heard people say the same thing too.
I don't know. But,
so we're gonna move back into more the clothing. Why do you think people relate and like your brand?
They see the message. So they see that I'm spreading a positive message out of Southeast, and you know, it's not nothing offensive, it's positive. On the other hand, I feel like that I stress in my brand, what I stress is quality. So I had this thing with quality control. If it don't look right, if it don't feel right, I'm not gonna put it out. That's why you see most of my releases, they come really in a way that's like really fast sometimes, and then it chills, because if I don't see, you know, the trend that I want, or I want to try to incorporate to my brand and the material that I use, you know, people like, you know, the way the shirts feel, or they like the way the patches look, they like, you know, the presentations, or, you know, different little things. And I do custom stuff too, so like, you know, it's been good so far.
Got you. Any pop-up events coming up?
Yes, I'm about to start doing pop-ups every week, right there by Gallaudet University, you know, right there in, right off of Florida Avenue. It's the clubhouse, you know. I think I'm gonna do free drinks and things like that, you know, while they last or whatnot. Had a close, have some music, you know, bring a friend, probably have a few vendors there, so, you know, it's definitely something, you know, to look out for, you know.
Got you. If you could collab with any other brands, local or global, who would it be?
Definitely, you say global, I like Off-White. You seen Off-White?
Yeah, I know some more.
Man, Off-White got that crazy, you know, they sell the messages, the clothes, so like he be having messages behind it. It be like really expensive. It's not easy. It don't look cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
You got stuff that costs $3,000 that we never heard the brand name. And one of the things about brands is, you know, it could be $3,000. You never heard of who made it or nothing. And you know, what you got with Off-White, it's really special. So I love to do something with them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you think DC, like clothing in DC, like the fashion scene, is the toughest competition here as far as like you having the clothing brand and you trying to sell merchandise, you know, the competition out here? Because I see a lot of brands popping up, and I just be thinking like, I know clothing, selling clothes is probably tough here in DC. Do you think that's one of the toughest competitions here?
Listen, this America. So when I say this America, man, you gonna have competition wherever you work. Wherever you are, excuse my language, wherever you are, you're gonna have competition. So when I say you're gonna have competition, that can mean anything, and like with the clothing brands, I feel like it's a good competition, because sometimes I might not want to, you know, exhaust myself or keep trying to make clothes or whatnot, feeling like you should never try to do that. You know, exhaust yourself trying to feel like you trying to be the #1 brand, because that's what make it unique. And I go back to like the We Are One stuff, the Hobo stuff, and different types of lines, the All Days and all that. They wasn't hating on each other. You know, they had different styles, they had different things. People wanted all of them. I'm pretty sure it was people that had a sweatsuit for every joint. They got the shooters joint, the We Are One joint. One day, you get what I'm saying? They had it wasn't no. It's too much hating going around, you know. And I ain't just gonna say in DC. That's a lot of urban cities. It's a lot of hatred within inside the black community. I just think about the times when, you know, DC was in turmoil and the crack epidemic and Rayful and them, and they had that money and stuff. I said, dang, they ain't buy no buildings and stuff with all the infrastructure. Oh man, when y'all, they ain't see, they probably seized it or something. You supposed to give it to your granny, man, and get the buildings or something, man. We have, you know, the black businesses. What I mean by that, the black businesses are at slim, and you know, the property owned by blacks, you know, is slim, and you know, here in Ward 8, you know, it's really no industry, you know, and it's really sad.
Got you. What you think cool competitive advantage is over the others?
I think I don't look at it as like competitive, because like cool is just not like just the clothing, because it's a movement. It's a movement.
Right.
You know, if a kid could say, I want to be, you only gotta be a kid. If anybody say, I want to be cool, like, and they understand the movement, they understand it's a positive movement. When you wear that, you know what I'm saying, you signaling, I'm with something positive, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, I'm really with the struggle, you know what I'm saying, when you see me, you know, because, you know, like, I'm a really humble dude, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't really, you know, do too much, and, you know, when I see that, it really intrigues me that people want to be a part of something that's really so, you know, positive, when, you know, it's just an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing.
Got you. Another thing you did, and I'm like, dang, that's good. I like that type stuff. You do the report card shirt giveaway.
Right.
So like, just speak about that, and you know, the smiles you put on the kids' faces, just, you know, just to show you they got good grades, just another reward that they gonna get and all that.
Right. So like, I had a couple recipients so far, and I haven't got to 50 yet. I'm looking for y'all, man, but I'll post it again soon, but like, I haven't got to 50 yet, but it's been some really good report cards, and my thing is, what I was stressing is about the people, a lot of people DM me like, why you make the criteria just 2.0? You gotta challenge them a little bit, A lot of people don't know I graduated from high school. I went to about 4 or 5 high schools. I graduated with a 2.02. I barely made it. I barely got into college. I barely just scratched the, you know, surface of getting out, you know. So like, what that 2.0 is triggering is targeting the kids that have trouble even getting to 1.0. They ain't coming to school, or if they even ponder about getting a cool shirt, if they even ponder about getting a 2.0, oh man, I gotta get a 2.0. Just because they thought about it in that sense, I feel like I done my job. Just you know, and more the better they bring me that report card.
Got you. What do you see cool in the next 5 years?
Cool, you know, motivational speaking, mentoring, definitely like a for-profit business. I want to hire people in my community. I want to hire people. I want to create a business where, you know, I don't know what type of business, but this is my goal, is to create a business where I can, you know, invite, you know, low-income residents, or, you know, from DC to come and, you know, give them opportunities. I want to be a staffing organization. There's a lot of staffing. What I seen, I worked for Amazon while I was in college in Delaware, and in the warehouse, and Amazon had employers. They had their own HR, but they also had a staffing agency, and this staffing agency did a great job of basically, you know, putting me in a place where, you know, I was like, okay, I need to work for Amazon, and it was really hard work, and like, they really hired me, and they put the advertisement. I would ride up the highway, I would see it, they give you the number, they call people. Next thing you know, I see everybody work for Amazon. I thought I'd give it a try. I worked for Amazon for about a month and a half, then I quit. I held it down for a little second. I think it was winter break. Yeah, but I held it down. But that's one of the things that I want to do with Cool, is create opportunities for. I don't want to be a nonprofit. I want to be a for-profit, because if I'm for-profit, that means that it's going to be something where we got to hit the ground running. We got to make it happen, and it's all got to be calculated. You go in there, you got to ain't nobody gonna give you no money if your business plan ain't right. So if it's for-profit, it got to be right at the door. So like it got to make it happen.
Gotcha. I see you be around a lot of major influence in the city as far as like activists and stuff like that. Speak about your relationships with some people, if you consider them mentors or not, or any people that you would just like to give a shout out, who influenced you in other little type of ways as well.
Oh, definitely. I got big influences, man, like India Blocker, Big Cuz, ANC commissioner, man. She really like the shining light for the neighborhood. I look up to her, like she put on giveaways for the kids. She give back and whatnot. Trayon White, Councilmember Trayon White, has been in my life for a very long time, helping me out along the way, like giving me advice, making sure I'm okay, driving to school with me, doing different types of things. I used to stay in Trey house a couple times. That's a real intricate part of a mentor. Carl Racine, the Attorney General, Washington D.C. That's one of the big pivotal guidance right now in my life. He's been one of those guys to put me in a position where I can really learn my craft. Paying for law school in fall of 18. So it's just one of those. Thank you, appreciate it. It's one of those things that that I'm blessed about, having these people around, even like Wally, Big Wax. Some people call him Big Wax. I call him Wally. And Wally, which is like from now, they doing panels right now in Southeast. I don't know, yeah, it's about an hour. They doing panels right now, trying to see what the youth talking about. They want to hear what's the youth, and that's one of the things Wally, he always for the youth, he always for the betterment of the youth, and I appreciate that. And I know if you see this, you gonna be like, yeah, good look, yeah, definitely, man, you deserve it. And I appreciate what you've done, even in my community, taking the brothers out, paintballing, the younger guys in Woodland Terrace. That's stuff that I want to, incorporate in my model of cool. Definitely, looking out for the community the best way we know how, because if we don't do it, who will? Like Trayon say,
Right. Any advice you got to the youth and your peers?
Yeah, I got youth, man. Like, I got a message, man. Like, I got a message, man. When you get up in the morning, look at the man in the mirror, and ask yourself what you want to be, make the decision. Don't put it heavy. I see a lot of people, they go to college, then they drop out. I see a lot of people, they go on the block, they get locked up 10 times, I see people get shot and killed, but some of them people made this decision to already know what they want to go at, So determine your destiny, determine your destiny, and remember that procrastination is the assassination of opportunity, and that we are what we want to be, in a sense. And for the people that have these contracts for the youth or signing their souls away, just know everything we do is for the youth. The youth come first. The youth come first. It's like I see a lot of people doing fake publicity stunts, and I could say who they are, but then that would just be not showing love. I want to be the remedy, not the problem. And in a real way, I just feel like do the right thing. If you do something for a youth, for example, most of the time if you do something for a youth, you don't want to put it on the Instagram. You don't want to put it on your Facebook, because that makes them, they have minds too. They've been on this internet too. Do you think they human too? So like if they saying that, they like, oh, you just want to do this to them, you can put it on the gram, like like you're doing it for self-interest, like like you have a political agenda in a sense. I'm gonna tell you right now that nothing that comes out of that it backfires. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't backfire in the here now, it will in the hereafter. You know, so like, don't manipulate the youth. You know, Frederick Douglass always said that you can't repair a broken man, but you can build strong youth. So the youth is the next generation. That's what I'm focusing on.
Got you. Any updates, promo, let the people know how much your merchandise is before we get up out of here and stuff?
Man, we got cool website. You can shop cool right now. Kenneil, KENNEILX, cool, COOL, Shopify and .com, and go ahead check it out. Shop cool right now. Also on IG, Kenneil X cool. Then you got the clothing closet, where it's the cool closet _ so that's the cool closet _ and in the real way, check it out. Maybe we could do this again one more time.
Got you, man. One more time before we get up out of here, just shout out HouzmazooNetwork for me.
HouzmazooNetwork, stay cool.